Good morning, chicks and chickens. Welcome back to Old Man Farm. My name is Sid as always. Robin and Carmen's birthday. Have to hunt those two down. Go ahead and check our fortune. I don't think it matters, but it's nice to know. Good humor. Queen of sauce. Crab cakes. I have been craving crab cakes, oddly enough. I don't know why. You know, when I was a kid, we ate salmon patties a lot. Like, you know, my stepmom would buy like canned salmon and make salmon patties. I don't even know if is that like a thing anyone else ever ate. I don't know. Anyway, crab cakes that sounds really good. Might have to do that sometime soon. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, we had to take this dinosaur egg into town. Speaking of, you guys killed it with dinosaur names. Oh Jesus, speaking of killing it. Hello, Sid. I wanted to stop by and tell you Community Day will be tomorrow. The whole town is showing up at the community center around 1 p.m. It'd be a delight if you attended. Yeah, that sounds fun. I don't recall ever doing that. Starting now, there will be gatherings at the community center on the 22nd of every season. Yeah, I don't recall doing that in my other games. I wonder if I just neglected to do it, or... that's interesting. So... Jesus, come... okay, so I've 100% decided that I am redoing the farm because I just cannot deal with the fact that Jeff lays in, like, the one spot every single day that I need to go. He just has this entire farm to lay on, but he has to lay in the one spot we need to be. Jesus. Okay, that aside, let's go ahead and read these letters, and then we'll get into it. I know a couple of recipes. I thought I'd send you one. Maybe it'll help you mine more ore. Bean hot pot. Sounds delicious, actually. I had some extra wood lying around. Thought you could use it. Thank you, Robin. We're coming to find you. That sounded aggressive. We're coming to give you something for your birthday. But yeah, okay. So you guys really killed it with the dinosaur names. Excellent turnout. Thank you very much. It makes my life easier when you guys leave such excellent names. And they really were. They were so good, in fact, that it really inspires me to want to make some extra dinosaurs, right? To grow a few extra dinosaurs. And in fact, you know, I don't know. I might actually hold on to this dinosaur egg. I mean... if we have two dinosaurs, we're that much more likely to get dinosaur eggs, right? Maybe we'll do that. I might hold on to this, actually. I'm as we speak, deciding this. The other thing was, I was told that getting the missing bundle, whoops, wrong thing, is based on a rainy day. And as such, we are going to go ahead and make a rain totem. Thank you for the suggestion. That is a great idea. We're going to go ahead and get that rolling so that we can hopefully get the movie theater rocking. I love the theater, both in real life and in the game. So I'm really excited to get that rocking. Plus, I don't know what all is in that missing bundle, so I want to make sure that it's, you know, I'm not selling things or giving things away that we need. Speaking of, though, I don't believe... let's see here. Let's see what the weather report says. It's going to be cloudy. So it doesn't say it's 100% chance of it being sunny. Like it does with most events. I figured since that's not a dead set from the beginning event, it might be different. Yes, okay, so we're gonna get rain. Dope, so we are on our way towards the theater. That is exciting. Okay, let's go deal with some livestock. But okay, so a few days ago, I mentioned being, you know, overwhelmed and asking you guys what you do to de-stress. And I had a few comments, and I have been very busy the last few days, and as such, I didn't want to sort of give a like a half-assed response to those in a comment form. So I don't know. I thought I'd sort of touch on some of those things today. Because again, you guys left such well thought out responses. I just thought I thought maybe it'd be better to just just say it on here. But oops, no, do not eat the egg. I am remembering to keep our duck egg, because it was pointed out that you get one every other day, and that's brutal. I don't know how long we have to get these sorted out, but I'm hoping we have enough time to even get 25, but I don't know. Either way, that was actually in one of these comments, but anyway, I would say like the overarching theme for a lot of the for at least 2 of the comments were learning to sort of restructure the way I view these things. Little behind the scenes, not so fun fact about me: I get overstimulated very easily. I get and thus overwhelmed very easily. I can handle a problem, right? As most people can. I might even be able to handle 2 problems, but when it starts to be each problem has sub-problem A, B, C, D, I get overwhelmed. I have never been I've never been one for the minutia of figuring things out. I tend to see things in broad strokes, and I handle it thusly. So when I'm in a moment like I'm in right now, as was pointed out, there are all these things that they seem massive, they seem overwhelming, and they seem like they'll never go away for me. But as it was stressed in, multiple comments, being able to sort of restructure that and realize, that none of these things are, hell, I was talking about this the other day, nothing's permanent, even the bad things. And allowing myself to sink into these fatalist, I'll never have a day off again kind of thoughts. It's, being able to step back, realize that, hey, not only is moving, as it was stated, one of the most stressful things humans do, but also trying to buy a house. And buying a house now, when anyone is telling you do not buy a house right now, it's a lot, especially because for me, I have to deal with, dealing with creditors, getting a credit card. I have taxes I have to deal with that are from, a few years. I have a lot of things that are all financially related. And for someone like me who essentially just views money as a means to an end, I pretty much view it as a means to leave me the hell alone. It's a lot. And it was mentioned also with the kid, It was mentioned that, if you think of it in the sense, the farm fresh eggplant from Marlin. Yeah, I have that. Let's go get that, actually, while we're thinking here. Obviously he's more independent now than he was, before, and he will be even more independent in the future. And, and for better or for worse, that frees up more of your time. And it's just, I have never been good at seeing the end to a problem until the end is directly in sight. I get bogged down in it, and that ability to step back and reassess a situation is not something. It's not a muscle that is well developed in me. Obviously, people who are alcoholics for Jesus, however many years I've been in, 12, 13 years. It's, it doesn't show the type of person that generally deals with their problems very well, right? So, having to relearn that and learning to be able to step back from it. But specifically, you guys mentioned writing, listening to music, and I liked this one, finishing something that you keep putting off as things that were ways of de-stressing. And you know, I think as much as I do all of those things, because in some regard I do, I don't do any of them intentionally, if that makes sense. Hello, Sid. You brought me the item I asked for. It looks perfect. Here's a little something for your trouble. Thank you, Marlon. Appreciate ya. More than anything, I just want you to love me. Maybe it's time to retire soon. You ever try raising slimes? Might make a nice change from just fighting them. You know, I have thought of it, actually. It's on the short list of things to do, Marlon. There you go. Thanks. I'll find some use for this. I'm just realizing we have him nearly maxed out with hearts and we still haven't gotten his cutscene. Damn. Anyway. Yeah, you know, I do listen to music, obviously. But I don't ever do it with the intention of it, being a moment of de-stressing, right? To me, I oftentimes do the opposite. If it's a high stress moment, I'm like, let's play our music, you know what I mean? And as far as writing goes, God, I used to write all the time. All kinds of things. You know, I used to write D&D stories, short stories, you know, poems, journaling, all the time. But again, it was never done with intention. It was just the same way I do most things. I just sort of vomit whatever thing I'm doing onto, you know, the page, or in this case, you know, into, you know, various recording programs. And I do that, and then it is what it is. I have very little intent behind most things I do. And you know, there's a book I read when I was younger. Some of you are probably familiar with it. Oh, Carmen. Oh, that's awesome. We ended up lucking into seeing you as well. There you go. You remembered my birthday. I sure did, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I intentionally found you. Oh, yeah, and real quick, we need to get that lobster for Gus still. We might not get those duck eggs, but we'll have that lobster for you. Oh, Elliot. Hey, you know what, dude? Since we don't ever hang out much, here you go. Oh, this is a beautiful gift. Thank you. You're very welcome. But yeah, there's a book I read years and years ago, and you might be familiar with it. And again, as you guys know, I am not religious. I'm not spiritual. I'm not any of those things. I just exist, whatever that means. But there's a book called Be Here Now, and it talks about a lot of things that whatever. You know, I don't really need to get into here. But one of the whole idea, the premise of being here now, is you know, not getting bogged down in the future, not being weighed down by the past, and just existing in the moment now. Because this is the only thing that is real. It is never then. It is never, you know, it's never then forward. It's never then back. It is only now. But doing that with intention is, you know, I've always thought of that sort of that mindfulness, that presence, right, of being in the now. I've always sort of thought of it in the same way. I think they talk about it in that, but I'm sure they do. But like the same thing they sort of teach you with meditation, that it's not about removing all the thoughts from your head. It's just allowing them to be and then go. You know what I mean? Do not dwell on them. And I think that's sort of the way I go about things in life. I try to. Obviously, clearly, I am a dweller. But I try to just let things roll over me and then move on, right? And in doing so, like I said, there's just not a lot of intent, really, in most things I do. I'm, you know, you know, I very much am like that sort of dog chasing cars thing. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'd do if I caught it. But I think the idea of how much longer do we have? Oh boy, it's getting close. The idea of doing any of these things, right? Writing, finishing something on a to-do list, or listening to music, or anything, you know, playing a game, whatever it is, but doing it with the intention of it being to relax, or maybe another way to look at that is with the intention of, you know, the intent is just to do the thing and to not worry about, you know, various external stimuli that are going to overburden me mentally. it's just not something I do. As I stated, I'm always thinking about the other thing I have to be doing, quote unquote, have to be. So I don't know. Yeah, doing things with this sort of intent. And hey, speaking of intent, I don't know if that's exactly how you guys intended those remarks, but that was sort of something I got out of it. But anyway, that's a whole lot of rambling to get to. I really appreciate the amount of time you guys put into not only just sitting here and listening or watching my just inane stupidity, because that does mean an amazing amount. I mean, truly, like, I don't know if you noticed, but my channel is not exactly like, oh, we're at, that whole thing. It's like, oh, well, this video got 1.3 billion views, and it's like, you do realize that 0.3 is 300 million views, right? It's not just, right? Well, we're not at that point. I see every individual view, and I do appreciate them. You do not have to be a vocal commenter for me to appreciate what you bring to this channel. And again, I know I've talked about the whole parasocial relationship thing and keeping tabs on that because it is important. But I also think that there is, and I talked about this with someone here recently. Thank you. You know who you are. But I do believe there is a lot to be said about the advice and the interaction with strangers. I am a firm believer that, well, I sort of think of everything as puzzle pieces, right? Nothing is ever a complete picture. They're all just puzzle pieces. And no human being is ever a complete human being for you. Everyone is just pieces for you to learn from. And hopefully, you can have some piece to apply to their greater picture, right? But I heavily believe in what one can gain, especially in the form of advice and wisdom, from someone who does not have a stake in your, they don't have a horse in the race when it comes to you, right? I mean, I know that, you guys, I mean, you know me by name, you hear me speak most days, right? And at this point, we have spent, Jesus, I mean, I think this file is at like 65 hours. So I mean, you gotta think, if you've watched all of my videos, we spent nearly 3 days together, right? But I am still just a stranger. I'm still just some guy on the internet, and as much as I may, speak with you, especially if you're on the Discord, wink, wink, hint, hint. You are still a person on the internet who, your profile picture might not actually be you, your name might not be you. I know nothing about you, right? Other than what you put forth on the internet, and hey, vice versa. But that being said, there is still, to me, something to be learned from interactions with people who, like I said, they don't have a horse in your race. Like, if I stopped posting videos, like, I'm sure some of you would think about, like, oh, I wonder where Sid's at. I wonder what he did. And maybe 6 months down the line, 1 or 2, you might think of me again, right? But at the end of the day, you don't actually have a horse in the race, other than just from one human being to another. And that right there, that one human being to another, regardless of what you are going to quote unquote get out of the situation, that's what I'm talking about. I think there is a lot to be said for both unnecessary, but what's the right word? When someone does not stand to gain anything, then I think there's more of a, at least for myself, and maybe this is a pessimistic way to look at the world, but if there's nothing to gain from your interaction with me, then there's more of a purity to that interaction, in the sense that I am more likely to feel like I can put more stock in, you know, where you're coming from, what you're saying. You're not trying to sell me something, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's like the whole YouTube thing of like, all right, we made it, right? We know what it's gonna do. It's the whole YouTube thing of like, you know, hey, I saw. That'd be like me suggesting to you that you go play Vampire Survivors, right? And then I go, you know, and then you see in the corner I'm sponsored. It's like, well, he may actually like that game, but also he has incentive to do so, right? But no, hey, guess what? Go buy that damn game. I can't quit playing it. I played it till 3 a.m. last night. But anyway, my point is, I know that you guys spend a lot of time here with me, and I appreciate it. And I know that you don't need to be here. You don't need to like stuff. You don't need to comment, share, do any of those things. And especially, you know, when I'm going through a funk and everything, I know, you know, hey, that's less entertaining, and maybe it unlocks something in you don't want to deal with, you know, these things, and yet you guys are still here. And it's just, it doesn't go unnoticed. It is very much appreciated, and I understand the gravity of what it is to have, you know, the interaction of strangers. You know, it's sort of that whole thing of like, you know, when you're feeling down and unloved, and your mom's like, I love you, and it's like, Mom, in the nicest way possible, you have to love me. You know what I mean? But if, you know, you get similar feelings from a stranger, it's not that it's better, it's not that it's more, it's just different. There's a different tinge to what it means. And yeah, I really do appreciate, in both senses of the word, I appreciate what it takes for you all to be here and to interact with me, and to even take the time to lay down any advice at all, or to lay down a name for a dinosaur. It is all just, to me, people interacting with people in a positive way. And I don't know about you, but there is just not enough of that in my day-to-day real life. It's not enough positivity. And I appreciate the, I don't know, the level of, you know, the lack of animosity and the abundance of camaraderie around here. So I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't actually know how we got here. I don't know what's going on. Who am I? I blacked out. What's going on? But either way, I don't think tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, but definitely the day after, we will have a dinosaur, and we're going to put that other egg on the incubator, and you guys will get to know what our starting dinosaur's name is. I'm very, very excited for it. But again, top it all off, I appreciate you guys. I really, really do. I know it's just stupid Stardew videos, but this is one of my de-stressors. So it means a lot to be able to share it with you guys, and to know, in fact, I just got a comment the other day about it, that it can act as a similar thing for you guys. It's an interesting feeling to be able to give people something I can't give myself. You know what I mean? Necessarily. It's interesting. But anyway, God, what a tangential episode. I'm gonna go. I have to go pick up the boy from school, and then we're gonna have a horror movie night. So, I appreciate you guys being here. Be good to each other. I don't think I need to say that, but I'm going to anyway. I will talk to you tomorrow. Good night.